Let's talk about singles ministry. Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things there may be. Let's talk about singles ministry. Let's talk about singles ministry. Dr. Cubion of Cubion International Ministries, drcubion.com, and founder of Help Me Prep Academy. You have to excuse me. I have this thing about me. I'll make up a song out of absolutely nothing, bust out singing on the dime. So you just got to excuse me. You say, oh, Holly, oh, you mean the women meeting at the church with the one guy that nobody wants? Holly, why did you have to add that last part? But it is true. There'll be like one man, he available, and he's excited to be there, and don't nobody up in there want him. Brother, we're gonna call him Brother Marcus. Don't nobody up in there want Brother Marcus. Nobody. Okay, so let's talk here. So as you guys that have just come on, if you're not familiar, I am Dr. Cubion of Cubion International Ministries, founder of the Help Me Prep Academy. Hello to the ladies in my mentoring program that are on board. Listen, I had to get out of the box. Rather, God took me out of the box and has had me come kind of like a spokesperson on singleness. Now, I got to be honest and tell you, I didn't want this job. I didn't want it because I hated singles ministry. I'm sorry, I said I wasn't going to use that word. I had a strong dislike for singles ministry. Now, if I say something and you feeling me, I want you to heart it up, like it up, because what I'm doing tonight is saying what you thought. Because I know I'm not the only one that couldn't stand singles ministry. Singles ministry is usually just a bunch of women getting together, and like Holly pointed out, that one brother up in there, Brother Marcus, that don't nobody want no way. And for good reason, okay? What I found for me with singles ministry, now I grew up in church, okay? And as soon as you become of age, you get thrown into singles ministry. You said strong dislike, Marcia. Yes, ma'am, strong dislike. And so you find that it's a bunch of women, and it actually provided nothing, but like something to do on a Friday night. I'm so sorry, but I cannot tell you one out of my experience of being single over 15 years and being a part of the singles group at various churches, different denomination, non-denominational. I found what happened in singles ministry to have 0% of an effect on my life. Rather, it was a waste of time because I could have been using my Friday night to do something else. Number one, now this part right here might bother the saints. If singles ministry is about having a life and doing things fun, can we do something outside of the four walls of the church? I'm sorry, you got to have a life outside of the church, and it bothered me. I'm going to start light, and then I'm going to get heavy, okay? I'm just dealing with my flesh and the stuff that I was a little petty about that bothered me. Why is it that if we want to, singles, and they're like, you guys need to get together, do something fun. Why is it that it always got to be at the church? Why can't we do something outside of the church? So there was one point in time that it was, Lord laid it on my heart I was a part of a big church here in Huntsville, and so God laid it on my heart to start a small group for singles. And my goal was for us to do stuff outside of the four walls of the church. Needed a location. We're not doing it at church. We are not meeting at church. I would not host a meeting at the church. Number one, people I found are not really themselves. You're not really letting your hair down. And I found a lot of people were like me. I had my church friends, and then I also had my real friends, because I couldn't be myself with the saints, because you gotta, when you were with the saints, you gotta be speaking in tongues when getting ready to eat your chicken. And like, I love Jesus, but I also just want to just do some regular things sometimes. And I just I like to talk about men sometimes, and didn't want to be guilt tripping for acting like I am physically attracted to a man. I just wanted to do some regular normal things. So when I started my small group, we weren't meeting at the church. Our first meeting was at Buffalo Wild Wings. And it was shocking to everybody there, number one, that we weren't meeting at church. And it was also shocking that we met at a normal restaurant and just had fun. Talking about, worst dating experiences and worst blind dates. I mean, we had a great time. Then I started inviting people to come to my home just for regular hangout. And for many people, it was the first time they hung out with church people and actually had fun and could let their hair down and be their self. And we got into the nitty gritty and talked about real things. So obviously y'all can't handle me speaking in tongues, but also knowing how to two-step and bust a move. Come on, Holly. That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. They couldn't handle that. I wanted us to be able to do those things. I listened to music besides Jesus on the Main Line. Yes, I do. Okay. I like Tevin Campbell. I like old school R&B. I do. I like Cardi. I can't handle all her lyrics because she's a little nasty, but I like her. Like I say, I can't do all her music, but baby, I take her song Bodak Yellow and talk about these some prophet shoes. I told you early in the broadcast, you probably missed it, but I told you I would take a song and remix it and make it fit however I want in a minute. Okay. So this singles group was my first opportunity with that small group of being able to affect change in church. Another reason where I'm gonna say the church went wrong when it comes to singles ministry, and here is one of the big kickers: they don't teach how to walk out singleness in holiness realistically. So what I got out of singles ministry was do not have sex. Okay. Could we talk about what I do with these raging hormones? And I personally, in my ministry, like, I need to get into that a little bit more, because what do you do? Because in church, I was made to feel like if I was ever horny, can I use that word without it making people uncomfortable? Can I use that? Because you are a living, breathing human being, and like, all my parts work. So I need somebody to tell me, like, I know I'm not supposed to have sex. Can you tell me could you give us, sister, some recommendations on what I can do when I have urges besides guilting me and making me feel like I need deliverance because I was turned on and was horny? And I was the one making the leadership uncomfortable because I would ask those type of questions. Yeah, I sure did. God bless the people. Looking back now, I was a little aggressive, but I couldn't stand singles ministry being pointless. So I'm like, okay, so I know I'm not supposed to have sex. They hated giving me the microphone, but could somebody please tell me, could you please give me a recommendation? What do I do when I'm horny and I am tempted to scroll through my phone? Because I have had some, I do know what I am missing, and I need some assistance. I don't want to fall, but a sister is struggling. Could anybody provide a recommendation? Don't tell me to just pray. I've been praying and speaking in tongues. Could provide a recommendation. While I am here, honey, you need to find an outlet for that. because I understand sometimes praying and speaking in tongues is not getting. You need to get up and expel that energy. Maybe it is time for you to take up running, bike riding, turn off the romantic music that puts you in that mood. Don't cut on any type of movies that is going to egg it on. Let me just give you a couple of recommendations that the church wouldn't give me. So let's not just shame people for falling. Let's help people out. Can we help the people out? I got told no when I tried to go to I have to try to attend marriage conferences on more than one occasion, and they wouldn't allow me in the marriage conferences. And I remember one lady I would talk to, and I was being a little pushy about it. I was being a little tad bit aggressive, and my thing was, ma'am, I desire to be married. I'm single. I want to know how to be married, and it doesn't make any sense that I can't find out how to be married until I am already married. I'm trying to avoid divorce. I come out of a home with domestic violence and all these different things. I want to know what you guys are saying in the marriage conference. The church, please, if you have any say so in your church in regards to singles, stop shutting singles out of marriage conferences and then providing nothing else. So I completely understand that you want a safe place for your couples to be able to learn and where they can speak, and you want an environment where they can be open. I completely understand that. But at the same time, the singles need the same information you are giving to the married people. So if you want to provide that closed-in environment for only couples to be able to share, no problem. But you need a separate conference where you're providing the same marital information to the single people. So when I talked to this one lady and I told her, I said, ma'am, I want to be married. It makes no sense that I can't learn about it until I get there. That don't make no sense. That's ridiculous. I need to learn about it beforehand. And I remember the look on the woman's face of her realization of, oh my goodness, that actually is true. You should be able to learn the information. Did she do anything about it? No. So what I have done is on my own for years, studied marriage, followed marriage ministries online, because those were the only ones that would allow single people in to listen. Like, you don't wait until you're married to learn about communication. You don't. You need to learn how to communicate before you say I do. If the church would help some of us out a little bit more, I genuinely think more of us would have gotten married already. When you have communication issues, you need to deal with it in your singleness so that you can date better. Communication isn't something you have to wait to learn until you are married, man. And so the church, that for me is the biggest thing. Withholding marriage information for only marriage people. I genuinely believe that the divorce rate would be a little tad bit better if you would quit waiting until people were already married and already in a bad place before you allow them to get this critical information on how to be married. Does anybody feel me? Hit the hearts. If you feel what I am saying, that's ridiculous. Can somebody please share with me something? I would love to know, because I understand that my experience does not represent the experience of the entire singles population. So if you have belonged to a ministry that has a good singles ministry that is actually being a blessing, why don't you share that? Shout out that church so that somebody else can know. Share it, because that has not been my experience. Not been my experience. I at one point thought, like, okay, I'm gonna try to sneak into this marriage conference and sit on the back row. That's ridiculous that I had to think about sneaking in. And so I decided not to. I was like, you know what? I'm not going to fight my way in there. I'm just going to go online and learn what I need to learn. And I have to tell you that when I had my first one-on-one appointment with my mentor, who became my spiritual mother, one of the things she said to me, she spoke prophetically, and she said, God says he is pleased with your study. And she didn't know what studying I had been doing, but I told her how I had been studying marriage, listened to hundreds of hours of teaching, bought all kinds of books. One of my favorite people to follow is Jimmy Evans. I like his ministry, Jimmy Evans of Marriage Today. That is a marriage ministry that I recommend following. I recommend my spiritual parents, Gerald and Yvette of Gerald and Yvette Ministries, Jim Ministries. They have an awesome biblical marriage ministry. Do not wait until you are married to learn about marriage. Do not limit what you learn about marriage to what your local church is giving you. Don't do it. Sealy, don't do it. Sealy, don't do it. Do not do it. You will find yourself, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but you will find yourself coming up short if you wait until you are married to find out about marriage. You will find yourself coming up short if you only take the information given to you from your singles ministry in your local church. You need to hear more than just, that's what's up, Marcia. You got to follow. Follow more than one. Not one person has all of the information. And so even though for those of you all that are following me in regards to preparing for marriage and in relationships and wanting to hear the things I have to say, wonderful. But don't allow me to be the only person that you listen to and follow. God has more than one person that he is speaking to. And with the internet and social media, this World Wide Web, guess what? You have so many ministries at your fingertips. Now, you do need to be careful about the table that you are eating from, because not everybody has good information. People need to be biblically sound. But I've given you a couple of ministries that I trust, that I believe that you can learn from. Your marriage is your responsibility. Oh, that's good. Let me say that one more time. Your marriage, your future marriage, your current marriage, if you're already married, it's your responsibility. So guess what? Whatever you are lacking, you cannot blame. At the end of the day, regardless of how terrible anybody's singles ministry is, regardless of how useless anybody's singles ministry is, your preparation for marriage is your responsibility. Did you catch that? Your preparation for marriage is your responsibility. So you get out here and you research. You follow people like me, like you're doing right now. Bravo. So proud of you. You follow people like me. You follow ministries like Jimmy Evans and Gerald and Yvette Ministries. You get out there and you read. And you listen to messages and you apply. And you don't wait until you're married to apply these things. I've been preparing for marriage for years. I spent over 15 years single. I actually went and did the math. I spent 16 years single. Okay, and in that time, I didn't always wait well, but I did do a lot of research, and in my research, what I found was, baby, I discovered that I had issues in my tissues. I discovered that I was hard on men. I discovered that the way that I talked to men was too rough. And I probably, can I be honest, I probably ran off a couple of good ones because I didn't know how to talk to a man, talking too rough. The way I talk to my homegirls is not how I need to be talking to my king. And the singles ministry, honey, they weren't telling me that. They were just too busy telling me not to have sex. That's it. Too busy telling people not to have sex. And so I'm over here, I've been reading the comments. I hadn't seen anybody post anything helpful, life-changing, and beneficial that they got out of their singles ministry from their church. So I think that's sad. For me, singles ministry at a local church, what you can do better, because I don't want to just tear down. I want to talk about what can be done better. So I've already shared that you should allow your singles to learn the same information that's being poured out to the married people. Whether you allow them into the marriage conferences or you do a separate conference with the same information, but prepare people. You got to have fun. Quit. Listen, ain't nothing wrong with doing a little two-step like Holly was talking about. Absolutely nothing. Have fun outside of the four walls. People think that their husband can only be found at church. The devil is a liar. Your man may not be at the church, and he most definitely not at the singles ministry, because they only got that one brother Marcus, that don't nobody want. Okay? So don't make people feel like their husband has to come from their local church. Wrong. Okay? And you got to get out of the house. Honey, unless he is the mailman, unless he is the UPS man with your Amazon package, some of you don't ever go anywhere or do anything. Like, you're not even available to meet anybody, because all you do is go to work and go to church and go home. That is why I am a huge proponent of online dating, especially in this COVID world where we're not getting out like we used to. So I would encourage people with your singles ministry, do something outside of the four walls of the church. You can drink your Hawaiian fruit punch somewhere outside of the four walls. What's Holly saying? So I attended ministry with a thriving singles ministry. Here is my issue. Oh, hold on. Let me click see more. Let me click see more so I can read your comment. She said both of the pastors had affairs and one married the one married the mistress. They make me feel like everything they said was a lie. They didn't live what they talked about. So thanks for sharing it, Holly. There are so many people over singles ministry not living what they're teaching. Baby, they are busy getting it in. These men out in these streets tearing down women's walls and doing all kinds of stuff. People need to live what they teach. And how can the people that are in the ministry receive when the people that are teaching are not doing right? My baby is on. There is my king. Hey, King. King Addison, that's my baby. Yes. I love seeing you on, King. Hey. So, yeah, boo, there's that one brother that be in singles ministry that don't nobody want. So get outside of the four walls of the church. Have some fun. Like, do something regular. Go somewhere. My God. I am a huge proponent of breaking down the spirit of religion. And I've got a broadcast I'm getting ready to do probably on Friday that is going to shock the mess out of people. You're going to need to get deliverance to hear it. God wants his people to be free. And that also includes being free from the spirit of religion. And I believe the spirit of religion is what has people thinking that singles ministry, you can only get together at church and drink Hawaiian fruit punch with that one brother Marcus that don't nobody want. Oh my God. So another thing that you can do with the singles ministry is give people realistic things and ideas that they can do for raging hormones. I hate that sex in the church, that topic is so taboo. So here is the thing. God is the OEM of it. What is the OEM? He is the original equipment manufacturer. And so when you want to discuss things, you should always consult the OEM, the original equipment manufacturer. Now, if God is the one that can't, if we can't go to God about something that he created, who can we go to? So what ends up happening is people turn to the world and use worldly ways to deal with things. And so you got people out here thinking that, for example, pornography is okay and masturbation is okay, and that you should utilize that to help you get through your single season. But masturbation and pornography is an open door to the enemy. Do you hear what I'm saying? It's an open door to the enemy. But I found that in singles ministry, they won't tell you that. And so people genuinely don't know People think that that's okay and they are helping themselves, but that is like feeding a wild animal. You ever see the signs they have put up that say "Do not feed the wild animals"? Okay, masturbation is like feeding a wild animal. All that's gonna happen is it's going to come back more and more and more and more and more. It doesn't help anything. Ask me how I know. Ask me how I know. It doesn't help. It does not help. So we push people in a hard place because we condemn them. The church will condemn you for saying that you're horny and you are having desires and you're wanting you're desiring to have sex and you're struggling, so they'll condemn you for that and then leave you hanging. So how about we stop leaving people hanging in singles ministry? um your desire, let me set you free. May I set you free? There is nothing wrong with you for having the desire to have sex. It is something God gave it to you. Stop praying for God to take it away, please. Okay? You don't want him to take that away because you're gonna need, baby, you're gonna need that drive when you're married. Don't pray for God to take that thing away. No, you need it. But what you do need is more self-discipline. And watching pornography and masturbating is not helping you. It's actually making your situation worse. Okay? So what I recommend, aside from prayer, because that's the only thing I've ever heard, just pray about it. Don't talk about it, and just pray about it and sweep the stain under the rug, and you're going to act like you don't have urges. That's not the case, okay? You're human. You have urges. You need an outlet for that energy. Prayer does help. I encourage you to pray, but I know there's been plenty of days where I was praying going in tongues and nothing was happening with the urge. It is built up energy. You need an outlet for it. So you need something for you to do. I found that walking, getting out and taking a walk helps. I found turning off anything that will make the desire stronger. So, just at certain times I can't listen to the romantic R&B music that I like. I can't watch romantic comedies, although I love them. They're just times that I got to be extra careful about what is going into my ear gates. So, yes, Holly, we got to have a healthy outlet. Look at it as your urges as a ball of energy that you need to expel and do something with. And I promise, if you begin to do something besides scroll through your phone, okay, that you'll find yourself being able to expel the energy. You won't die. I know you in the middle of it, especially if you've been very sexually active or you've masturbated a lot. You can probably find yourself struggling and feeling like, I can't live like this. I'm not going to be able to make it if I don't get to handle this thing and release it the way I want to release it. But don't. Because all you do, you're feeding the wild animal. All that's going to happen is just going to come back over and over and over again. Find a healthy outlet. I genuinely believe exercise is a good outlet. Maybe you like video games. Play some video games. Do something physical that's going to, on purpose, take your mind off of what you are desiring and put your thoughts on something else. So you need an outlet. Stop just sitting there. Most definitely in those moments, don't be scrolling through social media, because it'll make it worse. I'm telling you, those will be the times that you see people hugged up and all these married people. That's going to be the times that you're going to see sexual type of ads that are going to be eye-catching and just make it worse for you. Go for a walk. Play a video game. Call a friend. Call your mama. But find something for you to do. And if whatever you try doesn't work, try something different. But keep trying things until you find something that helps you take your mind off of it. And once you're able to take your mind off of it and you're expelling your energy doing something else, the energy from the urges will dissipate. It genuinely will. And I am so sorry that your church never shared any of this information with you. I never heard it, not to one time. And I want to share this as well about intimacy really quickly. So I was a person at church asking all the questions. So I used to be very legalistic. And I wanted you to draw the line for me so that I would know exactly where the sin line was so that I wouldn't cross it. That's legalism. I was the queen of the legalism. So I was a person in singles ministry asking, so how far is too far? Can we kiss? Is a peck okay? How about French kissing? Is that all right? What about touching? Like, I wanted to know how, hey, Michelle, I wanted to know how much I could do before I was touching that sin line. And what, let's say my hand is a sin line, okay? I wanted to be right here. If my hand is the sin line, I wanted to be right here rubbing up against it. I didn't want to cross over, but I wanted to get as close as I could. Listen, that is legalism, okay? Legalism. I know I'm not the only one. You guys are quiet, but I know I am not the only one. And I literally, verbatim, at one of the singles ministries, got on the microphone and asked them how far was too far. Like, I need to know. I needed them to spell it out black and white. God bless those people that were over the singles ministry that I was in at that time. So that's legalism. We want relationship with God. We need to be in a place where we're not trying to get as close as we can to sin without sinning. So my whole mindset has shifted from let me go as far as I can go. What you're really going by, your line should really be your line should really be your conviction. And I'm going to say that people's conviction levels are different. And what I mean by that, there are some people that feel like they shouldn't even peck, none at all whatsoever while dating. And for them, that's perfectly fine. In their background, they might have been very sexually active. And in that, a peck might be like lighting a match in a desert. And so for them, so for them, their line might be, let's not even have a peck and kiss. That's not where my line is. I can peck, but I can't do any French kissing, because for me, that is like lighting a match in the middle of the desert, baby. Everything is going to catch fire and burn. Everything. So you got to know where your line is, and you should have some personal conviction. Now, if you are getting all the way up to just sleeping with people and you don't have any conviction, you got a whole other type of problem, okay? A whole other type of problem. When you start getting intimate, physically intimate with people, it takes away from getting to know them, and it begins to blind you from things that you need to be able to see. You shouldn't be getting felt up. I'm just going to lay that out there. You shouldn't be getting felt up. And if you're getting felt up, baby, it's going to lead to something else. It's going to lead to hold hands, you rub it back, but when you start putting them hands into them secret places, yeah, you're going too far. You're going too far. So for anybody that needs a hardcore line, you're going too far. You are playing with fire. And when you play with fire, baby, you will get burned. You will find yourself, like I did a few times, laid out, prostrate on the floor, repenting, crying out to God, oh God, please forgive me. Please forgive me, God. I ain't going to do it no more. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, God. I ain't gonna do it no more. That's what happens when you don't play with fire. Don't play with the fire. Be real and honest with yourself about what you can and cannot do. I had to be real with myself. There's just certain type of kissing. Look, we can't do that because I will try to snatch your drawers, boo. So we can't do that. I can't be tempted. So I don't play with fire anymore. And by not playing with fire anymore, I've been able to remain absent. I've been absent for going on 8 years. But praise God, now that I have this ring, we are counting down the time of ending the abstinence. Glory to God. Hey! Abstinence is coming to an end. There is an end in sight. Hallelujah! Hey. Okay, excuse me. I got caught up for a moment. All right. I hope what I have shared has been beneficial to you. If you are part of a singles ministry at your church, take this. Please be vocal with your leadership about what is helping and what is not helping. What is the point of having a ministry that doesn't help anybody? And if your people are not open to receiving what you have to say, then you get your information from an outside source. You continue to follow me. You follow other marriage ministries. But whatever you do, don't settle for the lack of information that is in your local body. And if you're listening and you have input into your singles ministry, revamp it. Change the processes and ask the people. I highly recommend that you ask the people what they need. They will tell you where the ministry is falling short. They will tell you where they are struggling. I'm trying to tell you, singles so often in ministry feel like outcasts because it kind of seems like the church is built for people with families. And when you don't have a family, you can very often feel like an outcast in the church and like something's wrong with you. Why are you not married? Let's fix that, because there's nothing wrong with people that are not married. There's nothing wrong with people that are divorced. There's nothing wrong with people that are single. Do you hear me? Nothing is wrong with you. So let's do away with that stigma. Now, I am available if this has blessed you and you want to follow me more. You can see me here on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, my website, drcubion.com. There are multiple ways to reach out to me. I do one-on-one appointments. If you would like some one-on-one time with me, if you would like for me to help God walk you through your single season, book a one-on-one appointment. I would love to talk to you. You can do that by visiting my website, drcubion.com. And as of last month, in February, I launched the Help Me Prep Academy. I am helping women to prepare for marriage. And I'm running an awesome special that ends April 30th. If you enroll between now and April 30th, the enrollment fee is only $30 a month, and there is zero setup fee. That $30 a month will last for a year's time. Those that enroll after April 30th of this year, you will pay a $50 enrollment fee per month and a $100 setup fee. So take advantage of the special. If you think you might want to be in the Help Me Prep Academy mentoring program, I'm telling you, honey, enroll before April 30th so you can take advantage of the $30 a month for a year. Special pricing and no setup fee. We are having an awesome time in that group. There's more information available about that on my website. And before I forget, I told you guys that I was launching my latest ebook, Dating Virtuously. That book launches, how about tonight? So be on the lookout for that. That is getting ready to go live. It will be a $10 fine, a $10 grab. You can't go wrong. $10 ebook. Very easy read. Great information about dating, online dating, great tips. I want to help you get a man. I want to help you get a man. And not only help you get a man, but I want to help you to prepare for marriage, because that wedding only lasts a day. Thank you, Dr. Ashley. Thank you, thank you. And I want to shout out the ladies on here from Help Me Prep Academy. Woo, woo! Throw your swords up, ladies. Throw your swords up. So I love the ladies that God has blessed me and just trust me to pour into. We're having a great time. So go on a journey with me. We're just getting started. Only thing that I am trying to do is help you all to make the life that you have, the life that you want. So, all right, I am Dr. Cubion. I love you all. Be blessed. If you haven't yet, please share this broadcast with somebody else, because I know you and I can't be the only people that belong to some raggedy singles ministry. I'm sorry. I'm going to quit talking about folks' church. I'm going to quit. I'm done. Okay. Thanks, Marcia. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening, and I will be back later this week. Bye.